You are listening to Morning Edition on 89.3 WFPL. I'm Bill Burton, and it's time for us to take a look at the science behind the forecast as I am joined by Wave 3 meteorologist Tawana Andrew. Good morning, Tawana.
Good morning. You could say that this topic today is a little bit explosive.
Indeed. In case anybody just happened to miss, there's this fireworks show going on this weekend. I think they call it Thunder Over Louisville.
Yeah, it's this little thing that happens to be the biggest annual fireworks show in the country. I mean, I don't know.
So what do we need to know weather-wise when it comes to thunder?
Yeah, weather-wise, everything is just very specific, and the weather forecast is so vital to how the show goes on overall, from the air show to the fireworks. And we've had basically every type of weather almost for Thunder Over Louisville. We've been as cold as 34 degrees. That was
Oof.
back in 2005. Or we've been as warm as 87, which was last year, which was beautiful. So we've had some crazy days and some beautiful days. And for ever since we've had thunder since 1990, we've actually had some sort of precipitation fall at some point in the day for half of those days.
Wow.
So having some rain or something like that fall is not really out of the question on Thunder Over Louisville Day. In fact, we actually had sleet fall at the Louisville International Airport on the first ever Thunder Over Louisville Day. That was earlier in the day. The afternoon and evening was actually dry, thankfully. And then we actually had sleet during thunder back in 2005 at the river. Something tells me that people were not happy that year.
Yeah, I think that's a safe one to bet.
So of course we have to keep an eye on the clouds when it comes to the air show, right? And you are required to have a ceiling height of 1,000 feet. And the National Weather Service defines ceiling height as the height of the ceiling in feet above ground level, defined as the lowest broken or overcast cloud deck observed. Would you
Um,
like me to translate that into English?
yes, translation, please.
So basically, the ceiling is a measurement of how high above the ground the bottom of the lowest levels of clouds are, and those clouds must cover more than half of the sky.
Okay.
So I think that's easier to think. Just think of the very bottom of that lowest level of clouds, and that is your ceiling.
Okay.
So when the clouds are underneath 3,000 feet, acts that have a low show can perform, and no vertical maneuvers, the ones that are really cool where they flip around, those
Mhm.
are not allowed when the clouds are underneath 3,000 feet. When it comes to rain, the aircraft really don't care about rain. They can still do a lot, even if the clouds are still overhead, as long as it's not below 3,000 feet. But of course, those of us watching the air show on the ground typically are affected by the rain a little bit more. And if there's a thunderstorm nearby, they'll issue a no fly. So then no aircraft are going through those thunderstorms. So once they're gone, then the show will be allowed to continue. Of course, when everybody starts running back to the river, of course. So when it comes to the wind, when the wind reaches more than 23 miles per hour, that limits what planes can do during the air show. And it's not just the wind at the Ohio River, but also the wind at the airport that's important, because a lot of those fastest aircraft that are in the show use the airport's longest runway. If the wind is too strong, then those longer runways become unavailable, and that actually grounds some of the planes. When you have skydivers, they look for the wind to remain below 28 miles per hour. And then for the drones this year we have 300. So they've upped the number of drones in the show before the fireworks. Once the wind gets over 25 miles per hour for that helps to limit the drone show. So basically, we want the wind below 23 miles per hour, not just for the air show, but also for the fireworks, because the wind over that point can distort the firework patterns and make it a little bit more hazy.
Mhm.
So officials will analyze the wind speed at launch time to see if a delay is necessary. And usually rain doesn't delay the fireworks either, unless there's an actual downpour at the launch time. Otherwise, they can still let things go. So I don't think they've ever actually canceled the fireworks. They've delayed it, but they've never actually canceled it. So it looks like we'll have to pay very close attention to the forecast this year, which means I will be paying very close attention to the forecast this year.
The weather definitely plays a major role into what kind of thunder over Louisville we have from year to year, and we have a much better understanding as to why now, thanks to the latest edition of Science Behind the Forecast with Wave 3 meteorologist Tawana Andrew. Thanks for the knowledge, Tawana.
Of course.